Men want traditional women, but they're not prepared to be traditional men. You know, taking over countries, bringing over the bones and skulls of her enemies so she can make chalices out of them. It's just not the same anymore.
I'm the one the night when everything changes. You won't reply, I'ma go back to strangers.
I am on the hunt for a single Christian man who loves Jesus. If you are in your early to late 30s, you love the Lord, you are plugged into church, you are plugged into community, you are family oriented, maybe you love going to play a round of golf, you enjoy working out, hitting the gym, run club, maybe you're in a high rocks competition, you are looking for a pickleball partner. If any of this sounds like you, DM me the word me, and I may just have the perfect girl for you.
Yeah, moving. What? You need to pull or push? If you can. Or lift. I don't know what to do. More. One, two. Brandon? Brandon? What? Brandon, Jesus Christ.
That man knew by the first step that he was in it alone. He was carrying all of the weight. And that is a man that even when life is crushing down on him, or literally a fridge, he will figure it out. And his wife will be left asking, where the heck are you? Where have you been? Where are you?
Have you seen the trend where men, mostly in comment sections, are complaining that if they're not like a 9 out of 10 or higher, that women just don't give them a chance and it's not fair and blah, 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 blah. I think it's so funny because for so long, women have had this insane pressure to look good all of the time. And it doesn't just determine our dating opportunities, it determines job opportunities, earning potential. Honestly, like every area of your life is affected by your appearance. And now that men are seeing the tiniest sliver of what we go through as women, now that we don't absolutely need them for survival and they actually have to bring something to the table, it's so funny to see their reaction and to hear them crashing out.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Yeah, so if you're gonna participate in this women in male fields trend, make sure you're not naming that women do literally every single day, such as and other forms of and cheating. Because if all men are cheaters, then how come most of the fathers on Maury, like, we're not the father? Please explain that to me. I saw one today that really got to me, which was when I see my girlfriend their boyfriends, but I don't say anything because girls must stick together. Hashtag women in male fields. That one pissed me off. Because, like, don't we do that all the time? And the biggest reason we get away with it is because society doesn't see women doing a heinous crime as bad as if a man were to do it. And evidence of this is in the court system. If a woman and a man commit the exact same crime, a guy will go to jail 3 times longer than the woman. All this trend does is seeks to make a mockery of equality, and it's annoying. Women can do anything a man can do except be huh?
I feel so lonely every day. I don't understand why I'm alone so many years. I divorced 7 years ago. I'm alone every day. I go sleep alone, I wake up alone. When everybody have their off, I'm alone also. I want to have boyfriend. I'm tired of being alone all the time. Good guy who live with me, respect me and love me. We have fun together. We travel all over the world and visit different countries. I dream about man who is love travel. With a lot of travel, change country every month. This is so fun. If I have a man who live in Europe, and next month he live Dubai, next month he live China, and I go with him and do it with on social media. You know, like travel. Actually, I want to visit most countries. I don't have this money. I spent a lot of time in dating site and this is nothing. My dream is China. I stay in the dating site and I cannot meet guys.
Start recording these men when they're watching and staring at you. Because now you're playing busy. Where's my attention? You were just staring at me for 5 minutes.
He was born with eyes, but he's not allowed to look at me when he sees me. Y'all are stupid. He's looking out of his eyes. He ain't blind. You're half naked. He can look wherever the fuck he wants. I could care less if somebody wants to look at me. I don't care if I'm at the beach, if I'm out shopping, wherever I am. If somebody wants to look at me because they don't like me or because they like me, who cares? They're your eyes. I can't tell you what the to do with your eyes. And everything they record, a guy can't do anything without them pulling out their phone and recording. He can't even use the very eyes he was born with without her picking up her phone and being like, why are you looking at me? How the did you know he was looking at you anyway? You were looking at him, right? So you get to look at him, but he doesn't get to look at you? Dumb.
So when the men you want consume you and the men who want you bore you, that's not a preference, that's a pattern. When you're into someone, it's like it hits you like a wave. And when there is a man who actually does show up, it's like your entire body just shuts down and you feel nothing. It's like there's something missing, but you just can't name it. Here's what's actually happening. That overwhelm is not actually passion or chemistry. It's your nervous system recognizing an old pattern and flooding your system with urgency before it disappears. And the underwhelm isn't a lack of chemistry. It's your body not knowing what to do with someone who's actually safe. Because safety has never been the feeling that you associate with love. This doesn't mean you have to settle for boring or for somebody you don't feel attracted to. There's a beautiful balance that can happen where you feel safety and spark with the right man when you've rewired your nervous system to stop confusing intensity or chaos for chemistry.
The main thing you need to do is work your ass off. I need you working 12 to 16 hour days. I need you coming home to shower, sleep, and that's it. Shower, sleep, and I need you dealing with women 5 to 7% of your week, period. And I need you to be doing that for the next 10 years. And then after that, you can decide what you want to do when you grow up. But you got to try a lot of things. I talk about doing a lot of stuff because I tried a lot of stuff in my 20s and I didn't stop. You get around a lot of like-minded men that are going to push you. You don't need content friends. You don't need John Madden football friends. You need people who are going to law school, medical school, who are starting businesses, who are talking about investments. Those are the kind of people you need to be around. But here's the thing, it all starts with money. You got to get your earnings up. Earnings are the first part to start increasing your overall skills to become more valuable in the marketplace. You need to study success. Go study successful men. And just because they have a house, you need to ask the questions. This is what I mean by 22. You need more experience.
Y'all kids not gonna look like that. Okay, your kids are not going to look like that. When you get with them girls with the face balancing, the surgery, the filler, and all that, she look good. She look fine as f***. But ask about a baby picture. How did she look when she was younger, okay? Because your kids is going to look like that. That's what your kids is going to look like. I know she look good as f*** now. And y'all be like, yeah, she going to birth something fine. Y'all kids be looking questionable. I'm so glad my kids look just like me. Something about my genes are strong. I done birthed some cute kids. But yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all that your kids is not gonna look like that. They're not. Sorry to tell you.
A guy is liking my Instagram story, it's immediately over.
Wait, what? Could someone explain this to me? Why exactly would it be immediately over if a guy likes their Instagram story? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I get the ick. I think it comes off as very immature.
Okay.
Like, if you're liking my Instagram story, you're probably liking every other girl's Instagram story. You know what I mean?
So let me get this straight. They would rather the guy not like their Instagram story because they want to feel special, because they don't feel special if the guy likes their Instagram story because he's most likely liking every other girl's story. Is anybody else confused?
So, like, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
So then don't post an Instagram story. But then how would they get attention? Oh. But remember, gentlemen, there are women out there that will only like you if you absolutely pretend to ignore them and don't give them any positive attention. This is confusing.
One of my biggest icks is men wanting to be Little Spoon, but like that's genuinely like so beta to me. Like it literally makes me so dry and like never want to be in the same room as you again. Like, I don't understand why men want to be Little Spoon. This is what it looks like. Little Spoon me, babe. I want to be Little Spoon. Can I be Little Spoon? Go find a boyfriend then. Like, seriously. I don't want to Little Spoon you. You want your mommy to Little Spoon you? You want to be held? You can lay on my like on your stomach, lay on my your real man, and I'll pat your head. But no, I don't want to caress your body so that you can feel so tiny in my arms. Why would I want to feel like a man? Like, I want to feel like, you think I want to feel like big and protective of you? Please. So emasculating. I'm curious if other girls are bothered by this. Men aren't embarrassed enough. Like, aren't you embarrassed?
If you do not have money as a man, what is your worth?
Are they actually trying to imply that unless a man has a certain amount of money, that he doesn't have any basic value as a person? Unfortunately, a lot of individuals, namely a lot of women that seem to have this opinion, seem to forget that every single person is valuable and has value.
And I'm asking this as a genuine question.
And that is the saddest part.
Women literally hold the portal to life between our legs, and whether we decide to use it or not, or have the ability to use it or not, it's still there, and that's why women will always be worth what we are.
Some women really seem to like to forget that in order for that portal to life to actually produce life, they actually need the contribution of a man. Otherwise, it's just an empty incubator.
But as a man, if you cannot protect your family, provide for your family, give abundance to your family of wealth and happiness, what are you worth?
Do you think they realize that there are actually places in this world where everyone lives in extreme poverty, and providing for a family and providing luxury is something that many individuals actually dream of? But then again, there are those out there that actually think that a person's worth is ultimately dependent on what they can do for another person. Unfortunately, a lot of individuals don't see the inherent value that every single person has.
These modern women, I'm telling you, they need help. They need help. In all seriousness, like these modern women, they go through a process of putting men in different buckets of being terrible. Oh, well, this man is going to be an incel. This man is going to be broke. This man is going to be a criminal. This man is going to unalive women. It's just a varying level or varying degrees of men being terrible. And they wonder why men don't want to be around them. They wonder why men would rather go do other things. Because a man is going to be put in a category of he's worse, he's even worse than that, he's even worse than that. Oh, this is the worst guy that you can come across. It's going to be varying levels for these modern women. Varying level. How bad can men get today? And they try to one up each other each and every day. Oh, this man was bad because of this. Oh, he was even worse than yours because of this. Oh, he trumped all the y'all because this guy did this. And really, a lot of times it be the man didn't buy him dinner. Is really what it be, to be honest.
Door dashing means a lot of time to think. A lot of time to think means I came to the realization that unfortunately I've reached the part of my healing journey where I can no longer heal alone, and it will require a relationship where I have to just give over trust, and I have to just like face the fact that like I can't hold a guy to the standards of the past. Not that like, oh, I'm like going to completely forget everything, because no, you can never forget the trauma, and I'm going to always defend myself and always have that knee-jerk reaction. But you know, being able to fight past the fawn reflex in like a traumatic situation is the same thing as like having to fight past that knee-jerk trauma reaction in a safe, loving environment, because that's something I've never experienced. And the only way I'm going to be able to finish growing and healing is to be able to experience and be like, can I put myself in this situation, and can I actually get, but to find a man that would give me a safe, y'all see what, like, and the world is burning, and this is what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Who knew that saying I would require a non-refundable deposit to take me on a date in 2026 would send so many broke men into a spiral? It's almost like they forget that I am paying for a babysitter, transportation, nails, hair, makeup, time, effort. Most of those things cost me money. And yes, I am now dating with intention. I am dating to marry, and I am going to marry a provider. And if that offends you in any way, you were never my target audience. It's like so funny to me that my content is actually rage bait for angry men, because I originally started posting for the girls and just to connect with like other single moms and women in general. But triggering men actually accidentally just became my favorite new hobby. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
Look, the man that is a provider that wants a family, he absolutely wants a hot wife, but he doesn't exactly want to take on where somebody else left off and then also deal with some level of entitlement from that woman. Because with that comes a whole lot of ruin to his peace. But you know, men that do have the extra spending money and they're kind of just looking for a fun time, absolutely, they are going to pay for you. That is nothing new. Like, that is a setup that has occurred for generations.
Male ego is not just arrogance, it's identity. For a lot of men, their worth is tied to being strong, capable, respected, and needed. So when you see a man obsessing over money, muscle, status, or dominance, a lot of the time he's not just showing off. He's protecting how he sees himself. Because if he doesn't feel valuable, he feels invisible. Ego is fragile identity protection. It's the shield. Now here's where it gets serious. When a man's ego is wounded by a woman he loves, it hits different. If she disrespects him, belittles him, compares him, or makes him feel small, he doesn't just feel hurt. He feels like he failed as a man. And some men respond to that pain by shutting down. Others respond with anger. Others overcompensate, which is more control, more dominance, more proving. Not because they're evil, because their identity feels attacked. Now, this doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it explains it. A secure man does not need to dominate to feel powerful. He doesn't need to overprove to feel worthy. But an insecure man, his ego runs the relationship. So understand this, respect builds a man's confidence. Disrespect breaks it. And once a man feels small in front of the woman he loves, the relationship starts to shift.
No one talks about how intimacy affects everything in your marriage. And no, I don't just mean what happens in the sheets. I'm talking about the kind of intimacy that lets your body relax. The kind that makes you feel chosen, safe, seen, and supported. Because when intimacy feels strong, life feels different. Stress does not hit as hard. Confidence comes back. Motivation returns. You show up better, not just at home, but everywhere. A man who feels deeply loved stands taller. A woman that feels emotionally secure finally can breathe. Communication flows easier. Defensiveness softens. Arguments don't have the same grip. When intimacy is nurtured, resentment has a lot less room to grow. Marriage feels lighter, stronger, more connected. You stop surviving side by side and start building a life together. This is not about performance, it is about presence. It's choosing closeness in a world that constantly pulls marriages apart. Because when love feels safe, life feels possible. Intimacy creates momentum in marriage, and that momentum changes everything.
So my daughter has been wanting me to start doing TikToks about dating in Alaska, and let me just tell you something. So far, it's not been spectacular, let me just say that. But the one thing I heard when I first moved here is that supposedly there is 7 single men to every 1 woman. So, okay, can someone please explain to me something really quick? They keep saying that this ratio is like 7 to 1, but where? Like, where are all these single men? Like, because me and my girlfriends are trying to do a full investigation into this, and honestly, we have found nothing. So let me explain to you what we're finding dating in our 50s here in Alaska. So there's the guy number 1 who is the jaded one, right? The one where I've been hurt before, I don't believe in love anymore, but I'll still let you cook for me and be emotionally available for me. Sir, respectfully, no thank you. You can still keep moving on. Or how about guy number 2 who is, I'm just looking for something casual. Like at 53, what the is casual? casually dating. I don't get that. I don't casually date anybody. Like, do we need to take a nap? I don't think so. I don't casually date anybody. If you're dating me exclusively and nobody else. I'm not doing casual dating. What the hell is casual dating? Or there's guy number 3. Guy number 3 is that polyamorous one. You know, I have 2 girlfriends already, but hey, there's room for one more, and you look like you would fit into our plan just perfectly. I don't think so. I ain't doing polyamorous, but it's a big thing up here. But people still swear that there is 7 single men for every woman up here. And so my question to you is, where are the other 6? Are they hiding them? Because I am not finding them up here. My girlfriend Kendra's not finding them up here. My other girlfriends who are single, we're not finding them up here. Everybody we're finding up here is either married or in a polyamorous relationship, or they're so jaded that they don't even want to date anymore. Why are you on dating apps if you don't want to date? And if women have treated you so badly that you don't even believe in dating women anymore, why are you on these dating apps? Explain this to me. At this point, I'm not asking for perfection in a man. I'm just asking for someone who's emotionally available, who can communicate with me, who can maybe send me a text in the morning. Hey, good morning. How are you? How is your day? And doesn't disappear on me in 3 days or try to ghost me. But until then, me and my best friends are going to stay single and unbothered and cute. And we're just going to keep going on with our lives and praying to God that dating in Alaska gets a little better. All right, if I get any great dating stories, I'll be sure to share them right here on TikTok for you. But in the meantime, it's not going so well. All right, love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.
As wives, I think we sometimes forget how powerful our words, our attitudes can really be. Without meaning to, we can make our husbands feel less than. Just because we tend to carry more of the mental load at times doesn't mean our way is the only way, or that their opinion doesn't matter. The truth is, our husbands are very capable. They just might do things differently than us, and that's actually a gift. If it were all on me, every picture in our house would be hung up with a thumbtack, probably hammered in with the closest object I could find next to me. But my husband steps in with his own way, and it balances mine. I'll be honest, I'm sharing this with you because my husband has told me before, you have made me feel dumb. And hearing that broke me, because that's not who I want to be for him. The man who works so hard for us, who loves his girls with everything that he has, deserves respect and encouragement from me. So I'm learning to slow down, let go of control, and honor the way he shows up, even if it's different than how I would. Because at the end of the day, marriage is about building each other up, not tearing each other down.
You guys want to see a woman make a flex about her relationship online that is definitely not a flex? Here it is. Yeah, I think we all know that their bedroom design definitely includes a chair in the corner. In all seriousness, to flex this online is like next level. And the main reason for that is how men will view your man. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but this is like the fast track way to lose all respect from other men as a man. Not only do you allow this situation in your household, but you actually praise her for it. And you're okay with her taking a video and showing that off to the world, because most men will see this as the highest form of disrespect. And for them to witness another man openly encourage it under his household, respect is out the window. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of career field he's in, how intelligent he is, how much money he has, how successful he is, and even how much he says his intimate life is spectacular. And even if he's bragging about how hot his wife is, these are all things that are just washed away with the overall disrespect.
My husband and I are literally best friends. Actually wearing his sweatshirt right now. Didn't even realize that. That's cute. We're like the clingy, annoying couple. Love each other. But I honestly feel bad for people in relationships, marriages that don't feel this way. He will already be on his way to work, check my phone, instantly get a text that says, I am so ready to be home. I'm like, sir, your dang wheels ain't even out the driveway yet. But that's how it's supposed to be. And when I tell you that man be rushing home from work, my man is so excited to get home to me. I mean, that boy could not clock out faster because he wants to get home to his wife because I'm gonna be there greeting him like this. A man that wants to be home. We create that space for our husbands, for our family. And that's what breaks my heart. I can't get enough of my husband, and I know he feels the same exact way about me. I would literally ride in this man's pocket if I could. If you're married and you don't feel this way, put in the work. Figure it out. It's worth it.
You ladies come in talking about future men based upon your poor choices in past men. That's not my or other men's problem. You can't make future men responsible for your past choices.
I'm just saying what I've been through. I'm not expecting anything from anybody. I'm just saying what I've been through.
Well, you say you can only be so submissive. Do you plan on being single for the rest of your life?
It's to a certain man, though. If you treat me right, I can be.
Hold on. See, I'm going to challenge everything you're saying.
Okay.
Then why give him a child?
Because I believe in him. I feel like he could do better.
What? You gave a man the highest honor a woman could give without marriage. He didn't require anything, and you just did it on hope.
Yes.
That's like taking all your money out of your savings account and going to play the lotto and surprised that you lose your money.
It is because.
But is there a problem with the banks?
No.
Okay, so thank you. So the problem ain't with the banks. The problem is with the person who's handling the money.
And yes, it's me. It's me.
Thank you. So submission ain't the problem.
Right.
It's the men you pick.
Right.
And the lengths to which you're willing to go for a man that you don't pick well.
Yeah.
Submission ain't the problem.
I done been through a lot. With my son's father.
Okay.
I've been for 10 years, on and off. But my last relationship, it was very abusive.
So when I hear women say you've been in a situation for a long time, then next one you went to was the world normally says, oh, poor you. My thing is, you've had opportunities to date suitable men as well.
Bro, I do not know how to describe this type of entitlement. It's beyond me.
When you have family members that have money while you don't, you get really, really familiar with the face of evil. There was one time I had asked my aunt, who's a doctor, if she could buy me a TV because poor people deserve to watch TV. Hello? Yeah, and you know what she told me? She told me that I had to promise to her that I would exercise for 30 minutes a day so that she would buy me the TV. And of course I wanted the TV, and I said, yeah, sure. And she sent me the TV, and then I promptly blocked her. This was back in 2022, I believe. And I recently unblocked her to send her the GoFundMe for Nakakande and her family. And she read it. She didn't respond. So I messaged her again. I'm like, if you saw my last message, Please respond. And she said, yes, I saw it, but I cannot give. And I said, okay, and put her back on blocked.
So she's trying to help you by making sure that you're healthy. And you blocked her because you didn't want to be healthy. You wanted to look like that. And then you want her to help you with somebody's that they have going on. And you unblock her. And because she said she didn't want to give you any money, she's not going to help you because you're ungrateful as fuck. And you didn't hold up your end of the agreement. You blocked her again. So you should just do whatever you want. And she should just go to work, be healthy, and then take her money and give it to you to squander it.
What is the epidemic we are in where bad as women are getting slaughtered brutally by medium ugly men who resemble the rat from Flushed Away? Why is this a widespread phenomenon? And might I add, why do they all look like the rat from Flushed Away?
I was gonna tell these women that the reason that they're meeting medium ugly men is because they are medium ugly as well. Take away all of the filters, the lashes, the hair extensions, the makeup, and all the extra things that women do to make themselves feel pretty, and they are just the average person and don't even meet the beauty standards that they so heavily put on themselves. So guess what? You attract exactly what you are. And genuine question, I don't know what kind of men these women expect to attract when they talk so poorly about men looking like rats. Like, make that make sense. But not only do they match the level of attractiveness that they actually are emotionally stunted because they walk around thinking that attractiveness means that these men won't cheat on them. So they're actually surprised when they get hurt by these said medium ugly men. And obviously with that kind of mindset, you're never going to actually meet a man of high quality or high value, because a man of high value is going to see you as a weak link. He's going to see you as immature because you only are looking at looks and not compatibility. And men of high value are not going to tolerate women looking at them as medium ugly. And additionally, just to add something to it, 9 times out of 10, these women start out these relationships not being that interested. So they play all of these games, and these men will start to match that same energy that they're giving in return. And these women will fall for it because it's toxic or a little bit more on the edgy side. And now they fall for them basically because these men become a reflection of exactly how they've been treated, and now the women don't like it. Okay, bye.
You know, there's so many interesting concepts out there about how modern women believe that men are destroying themselves. There was one concept that was talking about patriarchy and how a patriarchy equals me, but then a patriarchy or a matriarchy equals we. And so they said, you know, you kind of think of a matriarchy. It's not really a hierarchy. It's more so sitting in a circle, and you're sitting in a circle, and the circle is protecting the vulnerable and children, basically. So the weak in society, it's the matriarchy is protecting those types of people. The problem with that sort of thinking, and this is the type of thinking that a lot of modern women have, and men are tired of it, is when you get down to it, a man is not going to have the option to be weak. He's not going to be one of the vulnerable. If he gets hurt in war, he might be included in that weak and vulnerable and needing more help. He might, but it's usually going to end up being women and children, because even if a woman tries to stand, she's gonna get knocked out. She's gonna get knocked out of there, so she's gonna be in the vulnerable category. And a lot of modern women are gonna see that and be like, I don't want that, and they're going to be in the vulnerable category, right? And then you have the children. So by default, modern women women in general are going to put themselves in the vulnerable category with the children. So you're just going to end up protecting them as a man anyway. That's what it's going to come down to. And we're going to go right back to the same structure that we had. And a man is going to be like, because essentially what modern women want to do, and this is why men have a problem with that, they want to control, they want to do nothing but control everything. They want to have this idea of, well, you know, what I say goes. I'm smart. That's why they go get an education. I'm smart, I'm educated. I can speak at length about what I'm talking about. So because I know what I'm talking about and I'm educated about it, you need to listen to me without having any practical experience. without having any idea of what's going on. They just want to run around and blabber their mouth about what they read in a book somewhere. You don't know what you're doing. Well, I heard this person say this and I heard that person say that. Have you done it? Okay, then shut up talking. Be quiet. That's where men get, and that's why when a man comes off aggressive, that's why. Right there. There was a woman complaining because a man went from 0 to 100 on her. Oh, why are men like this? Why are you not thinking about it like a woman? I don't have time to think like a woman. I have to take care of my family. I have to run my business. I don't have time to think like that. All I can think about is, how do I make this business work? How do I get this off the ground? How do I feed my family? Every single day, every single day. Every hour of the day, pretty much. If I'm not thinking about how to run that business, I'm thinking about how to raise my kids, how to take care of my family. And sometimes I'm still thinking about how to run that business while I'm taking care of my kids and having fun, because that's my livelihood. That's how it goes. Well, it should be able to do a lot of things, but the reality of it is, this is the way it goes. So y'all modern women throw out these concepts and you be like, all of that sounds fantastic. It sounds like a utopia. But the reality of it is, this is the way it is. Men are living in reality. Modern women are living in delusion. So any type of system that you come up with, it probably sounds great. And there are probably elements of it that you can work in. There's probably elements of it that you can definitely take and use for sure. But as a whole, these modern women are not considering the reality of what is actually going on.